particular series. Funny enough, she shares the same name with our guest for today. And today promises to be exciting. Exciting. I'm really, really excited to do. Our guest for today is one of the first guests that I sent a message when this was coming up. One of the first, because he was one of the first people that came to mind while I was preparing this topic. So it's good to have him here this evening. And we're going to be learning a lot. If you don't have your pens, if you don't have your notepads, if you know there's anybody that needs to really hear this or will benefit from this session, please feel free to share this with them. Share the link, send it. You can comment with us. You're welcome to this series. You can comment either on Facebook, TikTok, or YouTube. You can comment anywhere, and then we're going to see your comments. We're going to see your contributions. If you have questions, feel free to ask the questions also. And we will read your questions, and hopefully, we'll be able to give some clarity as regards our topic or the topic that we've always had a conversation around, a mentee mentor relationship. So, thank you very much for being here. And back to our guest. As I said, our guest is one of the persons that I thought of, first people I thought of when coming up with this topic. He is someone that is passionate about seeing people become better versions of themselves. He speaks about everything personal development. Above all, he's a Christian, a very good Christian, and we have to speak about these things, and we're not shy to say that. But I'm not going to say everything. I what some things. He's an author. He's a TEDx speaker, but I'm not going to say all that. I will allow him to introduce himself. Thank you so much, Mr. Jeremiah. It's good to have you here. Thank you so much for being our guest. You can feel free to introduce yourself, and let's hear from you.
Good evening, everybody. Greetings with respect to the time zone you're following us from. My name is Edet Jeremiah. I'm a preacher, a personal development coach, and a consultant, business consultant. I'm excited to be here because I'm sure somebody's mind will be so transformed to a point that they can become more valuable to themselves and to society at large. I hold a bachelor's in economics, a master's in entrepreneurship, and currently having my PhD in entrepreneurship. Aside that, I've been privileged to help transform a lot, help them see themselves the way they should be, help them plan, set visions, and I'm so excited once more to be here because we've been learning a lot about mentor and mentee. Thank you so much, sir, for having me.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Your audio was shaky a little bit at some point, but then we will get that back. All right. So beside that, as you heard him say, he's a TEDx speaker. He's a coach. He's a mentor to a lot of people, and he's a personal development coach. He's a personal development consultant, also based in the city of Abuja. And I've seen his work. I've interacted with him so many times, and he's somebody that you want to look out for. His name is Edet Jeremiah. He just stepped backstage, but he will be back soon. He'll be back soon. So today we're going to have conversations around um, mentorship, around gracefully outgrowing your mentor, becoming a quality mentee, right? Becoming a quality mentee, becoming a mentor yourself, and leaving a legacy of learning, right? So, uh, building a relationship with your mentor, becoming a quality mentee, and then outgrowing, gracefully outgrowing a mentor, gracefully outgrowing a mentor. Why are we even talking about conversations like that? It's because we've seen instances where people have mentors themselves, and something happens, or they grow, or they become bigger themselves, And because that has happened, it now becomes a challenge for them, relating with the person that was once their mentor. So because of that, relating with that person, a person that was once their mentor, becomes very difficult because the relationship has now become strained. Now, we're not saying that it is your fault, possibly, that the mentor didn't grow on his own. However, we're saying that the essence of a mentor and a mentee relationship is so that you will grow. The said person, the said mentee, grows and sees something that he wants to achieve in the mentor, grows in that direction, and then every mentor, we've kept hearing this. They say the pride of a father is that he outgrows the son outgrows the father. That's the pride of a father. So every genuine mentor will be excited and happy to see that a person that he's mentoring has grown so much that he can be trusted or entrusted with things to do. Now, if you can be entrusted with things to do, it means you're growing. However, growth is a characteristic of living things, and the only time that growth stops is when you are no longer alive. So if you are still alive, it means that you ought to be growing ceaselessly. You are not going to stop growth. So growth never stops. So if that is the case, you are growing. Sometimes, because we have established precedents, established some thought processes, and we've always said that mentorship is a structured dispensing of knowledge. So structurally, your mentor dispenses knowledge to you. But before you started the relationship, there was a target. There was something that you wanted to achieve. There was something that you wanted to become, or there was a point, a destination to that relationship. Now, as you have gotten that, let's assume you have gotten to that point, or you have achieved the thing that you wanted that mentor to be to you. What next? How does the what's the next step to go? Do you now start rubbing shoulders with somebody that has mentored you because you have grown? It is that what should happen? So our conversation today is going to be structured around becoming a quality mentee. A quality mentee. So becoming a quality mentee, gracefully outgrowing a mentor, and you becoming a mentor yourself, right? Because so many times we've seen a lot of people think they don't have anything to offer. I can't become anybody's mentor. I can't do all that. We just have that feeling of inadequacy. I don't know where that came from. I don't know if it's timidity or fear, but somehow a lot of people that I have seen that have some substance and they can also dispense, start setting up some legacy, are shying away from that. And we have already established in this series before that a lot of people don't even a lot of mentees don't know how to maximize mentor relationships. So a lot of mentors are shying away. So people have come to them and then they told them, no, I can't mentor you. But we're going to go double into that conversation. I've started speaking already. He's back. Mr. Jeremiah is back. So we're going to start with that. Usually one of the first questions I ask everybody is, we want to hear your own perspective. What is on the concept of mentorship? What is mentorship to you? Just your thoughts generally about mentorship. Is this something that we should look out for? Is this something we should do? Is this something that is overrated? Is this something that has um what do they call that now? PR. I was telling, what was it yesterday? I was telling my wife, I said, strawberry is just a fruit that has proper PR because it doesn't taste good to me, but it has good flavor. It doesn't taste good. So, is it that mentorship has PR or what? So, Mr. Jeremiah, let's hear from you. What do you think? What's your concept? What's your thoughts? What's your concept? What's your thought on the concept of mentorship?
Okay, thank you so much. I will start by giving us a typical example of how life operates. So let's say, for example, you're born in the early 90s, then comes the millennial, and someone else is born, and you just tell that person, maybe you were born in 1992, and you speak to the person who was born in 2000, saying, oh, you are a millennial, you just came to the earth. The both of you have people who is older than both of you. So, for example, I stand with, let's say, a 15-year-old, and I laugh about how he's growing, his struggles, and everything. There's someone else who looks at me and obviously laughs and say, I was once a young man just like he is. Why did I give this example? It is to let you and I understand that life doesn't meet you at a generation alone. I repeat, life doesn't meet you at a generation alone, and your generation is not what all there is. So if you're in your 60s, there are people in their 70s. If you're in your 50s, there are people in their 60s. So the way life is designed is that we are reliant on each other. This brings me to the reason why we need mentorship. There are various reasons why we need mentorship, but I'll be giving us a few. The first is because we are not all at the same age.
Hello,
Yes.
sir. Because of
Can you hear?
because of what you are saying is so vital, there is an obstruction in your audio. There is a noise in the background, and I don't know where it's coming from. But I can hear you, but then some other people trying to follow us are not hearing you clearly. Yes, I don't know where the mic issue is coming from, but let me unmute you again.
Can you see here? Hello? Oh, we are good to go. Okay, so like I was saying, we are you need to factor in these few things when it comes to the subject of mentorship. We are not all at the same age. Now, aside age, we are not all at the same level of knowledge. Yes, even the scripture says we see in part and we prophesy in part. This is so vital because you need to understand your press for knowledge, your press for insight, exposure, wisdom, and all you do is little compared to another person's press. And the disparity here can be traced to upbringing. It can be traced to the level of education afforded the individual you're following. It can be traced to the level of parenting and the guidance of the people around them. I grew up with a lot of older people, so chances are that you were always corrected. And there were certain things I would know called common sense because the people around me guided me. You may drop someone at the same age with me and watch my coordination be different. That person can learn from me because there is something unique about my own dealing. So, what am I saying? That for you to understand the reason for mentorship, you must understand that we are not all at the same generation. There are people older than you. There are people who have lived their 20s, they have lived their 30s, and they have the experience and knowledge enough to teach you. The second is that there are people who are knowledgeable, you are. And this is one thing we need to accept as Africans because, you know, we live in a generation that prioritizes age. But the funny thing is that we are in a knowledge-based generation where someone who is obviously in his late 20s, early 30s can have sufficient knowledge enough in a field to teach another person. So because of knowledge, you can seek mentorship. The third, which is spiritual, is because the level of spiritual endowment on individuals, whether you like it or not, there are graces. And we're speaking to a broad audience of people. Everybody, practicing a faith or religion or whatsoever. I'm from the Christian faith, and I believe there are endowments given by God. So certain people carry what is called wisdom. The Bible talked about Jesus, that the people marveled at the authority to which he spake. They could deduce that this man's reasoning was not the usual. And mind you, the person who was speaking at the age of 12 marveled the scribes, the Pharisees, and the doctors of the law. So this brings me to a concept I want to introduce about mentorship. When you want to begin to follow people, first use these three templates. Number one, generation. Are they older than you are? It gives a basis to listen to people because they are older than you are. The second is knowledge. This is what makes you listen to somebody who you are older than and maybe advantage more than that person. The difference there is that there is knowledge. The third is spiritual endowment. Whether you like it or not, there are specific graces handed over to people because of maybe spiritual callings. Not to delve into deeper scriptural readings, Ephesians 1:11 says, in whom we have been predestined. Jeremiah the prophet, God was speaking to him when he was young. He says, I've ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. You would see that person with a lot of burden, and the prophetic bringing a lot of insight, boldness to speak. He saw his lamentations and all that. And you look at this boy and say, what are these young people doing around on Facebook? What are these young people doing videos? They have not lived enough to teach people. I'm giving you a template to which you follow people. The number three reason is because of the grace upon their life. That grace, the Bible says, can teach. That grace can expound things to people. So follow people because of generation. You can look at your life as a young person and be inspired by somebody who is ahead of you in terms of age, in terms of um, advancement, in terms of results and all that, and follow them because the gap is there generationally. The second is knowledge. Now, this is why you don't just follow anybody because they are older. No, no, don't do that. You don't follow anybody. A fool grows older. So there's when you want to filter who to follow because of generational gap, make sure you observe through their years of result. You can learn from their bad experiences because advice, both good and bad, can be an advice. My bad experiences can be an advice so that you live a good life. So when you want to vet people who are even generationally ahead of you, vet the strength of their knowledge. I've seen people tell younger people to do things that are not good. And so, in as much as I sell to you that you need mentorship, you need generational gap, a fool can grow old. Pardon? I don't know if it sounds vulgar, but this is just the truth. If I decide to reduce my press for knowledge, love for God, getting constructively tutored, mentored, and learning, I become more foolish. And the more I make foolish decisions, someone looks up to me, oh, maybe this guy has some mustache, has some beard, he has knowledge enough. No, that's not the basis. So when you're looking at the generational gap, look at both knowledge plus results. Because what validates your generational gap is that you applied knowledge of time and it gave you results. So now, how do we choose mentors? There are three types of people to choose as mentors. Number one, those who have knowledge. There are three kinds of people to choose as mentors. Number one, those who have knowledge. Who are this set of people? They are the friends you have. Random people who are so knowledgeable. They are blessed with wisdom. They are so vast. My goodness. I see videos of people, somebody is profoundly being a role model to me. And most of the times when I listen to these men, I'm not so obsessed with their recent teachings. I see them like these men share serious transformational information. What happened to the generation of friends they had? What happened to the people who with them? Did they not get a glimpse of the level of intellect these men possess? Then I found out that people are really despised at the initial stage. And if you want to profit from life, learn how to follow people who are knowledgeable. Take up knowledge. Are you knowledgeable in a field? Are you vast and gifted in that field? It's a base for which I follow men, irrespective of age, irrespective of result, because you see, knowledge plus result, knowledge plus time is what brings result. Most of the people who celebrate today, clap hands, want to follow, listen to, they were saying the same thing for years. You'll be so surprised I've said the exact thing I'm sharing today in another platform years back. So it's not like something done information and result began to happen in your life that made people know that, oh, this that is sharing is valuable. So when you want to choose mentors, follow people who are knowledgeable.
There's a little network glitch on his end, but then profound things he's saying. And one of the first things he started saying was, you need to understand that people are in different generations, and you are in your 30s, somebody has lived 30s before, You are in your 40s, somebody has lived 40s before. You are in 20s, somebody has lived 20s before. And it is wise, it is wisdom that you tap into the knowledge that they have. Now, growing in age is not synonymous to growing in wisdom. Growing in age is not synonymous to wisdom. He said it is time, is a collision, or it is a journeying, or to the collision of time and wisdom that gives you the right result. So the joining of time and wisdom. So it is not just time, because the wrong decisions can accumulate and give you a specific result, but you need the right wisdom. So another thing you mentioned, sir, was that um, you follow people for the knowledge base. You follow people, or either that, or you follow them because of the generation they've gone ahead of you. They have achieved that which you seek to achieve. Am I correct, sir? You also follow them because of the grace upon their life. So you can choose. These things have to be there. So, sir, one quick question: does it have to be all three, or you can have what you mean is at least one?
Okay. Sorry, I'm network. I think we need to just let me again. Sorry about that.
Yes, you are not very
Okay, my
audible.
discussion is. Oh, can you hear me? Okay. My discussion is progression. I will answer that as I go on. Now, I told you you follow people who have knowledge. The second are those who have results. These are people who had applied knowledge over a period of time and is yielding the result in terms of intangible. And the third, you follow people who are veterans. They have lived the life, proven the points, and they can now sit back to speak to people. These are the people who are qualified to be in the generational gap form of mentorship. Now, should I choose one at a time? Good question. The thing is that a lot of things are happening in our lives at a time. And so this young person is growing up. Let's say you're a youth in, let's say, probably about 20 to 30 for a start. At that stage, you begin to see the realities of making money. At that stage, you may begin to have affections that leads to love relationships, probably marriage as it goes on. At that stage, you begin to understand your gifts and potentials. You begin to know that there's something special about myself. At that stage, a lot of things is happening at once. And so if you choose one person, I have a lot of mentors. Yes. If you choose one person at once, a part of you will grow and the other part will suffer. I have people I follow because I believe they are knowledgeable when it comes to the concept of finances and they are proven results with what they are doing. So I follow. I have set of people in the area of finances that are very knowledgeable but are growing with the results. So they tell you the principles of savings, though they are not millionaires and billionaires yet, but you know savings work. And so you can have as many mentors you want in a lifetime. It depends on you. So this is how I began to structure my life to have mentors. I began to understand that man is a composition of spirit, soul, body. And I knew that my spiritual life needed energizing, needed knowledge, needed an investment in knowledge. And so I began to trust God for shepherds after his heart. He says, I'll give you pastors. The Bible did not say a pastor because he knew one person cannot give you the whole caption of who God is. And so even if you're submitted under a local assembly, God began to give me access to different men. I began to hear teachings from different people that helped my spiritual life. Now, if I grow only spiritually, I would suffer on earth. Let's say the truth. Because my spiritual growth will prompt God to lead me to someone else who can teach me finances. And if your spiritual growth is only stopping in church without God inspiring you for other areas of your life, there is something wrong with the level of mentorship you're receiving. And so at that stage, I found that I needed to grow spiritually. I began to carve a template about spiritual growth. Now I know I want to grow spiritually. Who are the people I need? I need those who are knowledgeable. And so I began to outsource people who are graced and knowledge in certain field. They could teach you about the doctrine of faith. They could teach you about theology and everything. And so when I began to learn that part, I saw I was growing. I noticed other people were conversant and strong in the areas of prayers. I followed them. I found that other people were strong in the areas of wisdom. I followed. Now that's spiritual, the area of the mind. I discovered that my life, a combination of my upbringing, the society I grew up in, and I wanted a lot of information. I had visions of being global. I had visions of mentoring people, of impacting people. I knew that level of intellect was not sufficient enough to take me to platforms and give me access to greater numbers of people. So I began to outsource people who were in areas of personal development, knowledgeable in the areas of mental transformation. And as I began to build knowledge in these areas, I began to see growth. Now there's something about physical growth, packaging products and services, businesses. And so the reason why I'm stating this is that at every point in your life, different things will be happening at any point and every point. You will not be focused on one. Instead, you come, you'll be a family man, somebody's wife, a parent. If you focus on one part of mentorship, you grow in that part, other parts will suffer. So just for a guidance, begin to structure the areas of your life you want to grow. Trust God for the men who can teach you, and look at people's proven track record of knowledge, of results, and generational years of practice, and fulfilling what they teach. Listen to them. Then you begin to grow in the different areas of your life. So at every point, you don't need one mentor, you need a group of mentors at any stage of your life. Thank you.
Okay, can you hear me now? All right. Yes. So I was saying thank you very much for what you said. You mentioned a couple of things about having a group of mentors, looking at, so you need to figure out areas of your life that you really want to grow in. So you figure them out. You now look for the people that have that, a combination of both the time and the knowledge base, and people that are also willing to share that with you. But I have had I've had conversations with some people, and then they've said that when you have multiple mentors, you tend to be confused as to which of them you should really listen to with regards some things. So for instance, if you have more than one mentor in the area of finance, or you have more than one mentor in the area in your career, and you may tend to be confused as to some of the advices that you may get from them. Now, but I've had people also different school of thoughts be like, okay, I have a mentor for this, I have a mentor for my career, I have a mentor for my spiritual life, I have a mentor for ministry, I have a mentor for my finance, and then the person says he has a life coach or a mentor for life generally. So, and I have asked questions like that. I was like, wouldn't you get confused? And they're like, okay, they know what issue to take to who. They already know this one is a matter of finance, or this is a matter of leadership. I will take it to this one. This is a matter of this. I'll take it to this one. So I've had conversations with people like that. And then they say, "Mm, this is business matter, and this person is my mentor in ministry, so I'm not going to take this particular talk to him, because he's not someone that what do they call that now, he's not a business mentor, he's a ministry mentor." And so we had all that. However, I would like to say that you should pick which works for you. Some people are very lucky that they've got a mentor that has, there could be a compendium of every most of the things that you're looking for, and he has uh, different feathers on his hat, and he can coach you in different aspects of life. Yes, sometimes you may need one person that is your mentor, but you have coaches in other areas of life. So it all depends on which works for you. If you get confused, pick one, right? But then we also say life is in phases. You have somebody that is you are looking up to with regards in a certain area. And then when you are able to achieve that, you can move on to another phase of your life. But if you pay attention to only one aspect of your life, as Mr. Edet Jeremiah said, if you pay attention to only one aspect of your life, the other aspects of your life will suffer. There's something he said in passing, and it's a concept that we've always had to discuss. He said, while you were talking, sir, you mentioned um, Dr. Sam Adeyemi, right? And you said, yeah, he has been a role model, right? So I actually picked it because you didn't say he has been a mentor. You said he has been a role model. So it means you have able to draw a line of distinction between who a mentor is, who your mentor is, and who your role model is, right? Am I hope I'm right.
You actually you caught me there. That's beautiful. Okay. Now there are various school of thoughts about many. Some say you must have direct contact with the mentor, and so now there are three forms of mentorship we should look into. The first is called open mentorship. Open mentorship entails you and I have to learn. So I said you need to grow spiritually, different areas of life, and you want to source these mentors. How do you source them? So the first way is through open mentorship. So why I don't like to call people who fall under open mentorship direct mentors, because I do not have a personal contact with. So at open mentorship, you have access to their materials, you have access to their videos. You can go and say, oh, I want to grow spiritually and mentally. I begin to listen to the likes of Dr. Adeyemi. As you listen to his video, you are being mentored because you are learning. But I don't like to call those set of people. I've not had the opportunity to stand with Dr. Simon Adeyemi or sit with him or directly. And so that is an open mentorship. Anybody can just assume I want to grow. Open YouTube, go through his video from him, learn everything he teaches, and grow in knowledge. That mentorship is an open form of mentorship. The second kind of mentorship we have is mentorship. This is a form of mentorship that is embedded in organizations and institutions bettered by an individual or a group of people you seek to follow. So, for example, Dr. Samuel has Leadership Academy. If I want to receive leadership knowledge from him in the form of mentorship in leadership, I can sign up for the Daystar Leadership Academy. That's an organized form of mentoring someone. And aspect of mentorship, because when you know what you want, it is easier to go to a body with a curriculum designed to teach me finances other than going on YouTube, because at this level it is more structured. The information is more structured. I run a mentorship platform, and by God's grace, I'm designing institutions where knowledge can be in a structure where people can profit from them, other than just maybe randomly listening to me on Facebook or whatever platform they get to meet me. It's structured mentorship. Here, I mean what I want to learn from him. The curriculum has a design that makes me look like something at the end. There is a goal in the mind of the designer, the organizers, and whoever bettered that institution that look like that thing at the end of that program. So It's just you learning from somebody. No, it's beautiful, but I prefer to call them role models to your privilege to have the opportunity to learn from them physically or through online and all that. The third form of mentorship is personal or private mentorship. Now, most of them come at a price, maybe your loyalty, your finances, whatsoever, holds you by the hand, knows your name, is the person that can tell you, don't do this, see me tomorrow. And, he talked about his mentor, Dr. Bishop Oyedepo, when he wanted to move to a new place. His mentor, I told him, what is the highlight of a ministry? The word. He says, why do you not want to come and give people a lengthy stretch of prayer to follow you? Because of the wisdom that comes from you. And so he said he was like a veil was removed from his head. So you can be privileged to have to hold your hands directly. And I will tell you the truth. If you have this set of people in a lifetime, you are truly honored. Honestly speaking, have direct access to who can feed you with knowledge, give you corrections, and strengthen your life is beautiful. So, but just giving a template for all, there is open mentorship. You cannot necessarily refer to them as a mentor. You can call them role models because you are learning from them and of them, their lifestyle, their results, and everything. The second is institutionalized. You can say, this is my mentor. I learned under them. And thirdly, a private based mentorship where someone holds your hand. You are obviously Dr. Sarah Demi doesn't even know me, but with time you will know me by the grace of God and long from now, honestly.
He will
when all
definitely know you.
yeah, my husband. And so when all these are put in place, you can now say, oh, this is my role model, mentor, and I have the privilege to be men's person. So now that you're looking for the areas of your life you can grow is with open mentorship. I recall those times on YouTube, I read specific books based off authors. I was not about, and not everybody will be so graced to have that level of detail in their approach to growth and mentorship and learning. Specific people. Anyway, Dr. Masmuro's book was packed. I knew it was not a book. Wherever I saw Apostle Joshua Selman, his messages, his teacher, privileged to be submitted under his mentorship and ministry. There are people non-negotiable because it's a pattern for my growth. Now you may be starting out and not having someone to hold your hands, but you have the knowledge that you want to grow in an area. It is beautiful. You can begin to piece up materials in that, and as you grow, you can begin to look for institutions, structured body of knowledge that can form your life over a period of time. And lastly, the privilege to meet somebody one on one. Thank you.
Powerful, powerful. This is profound because we need to know that there are different types of mentorship, and the people that you are reading from, the people that you go to on YouTube, get their teachings, you listen to them, they are in a way shaping your life, because we have said this: whatever you give access to, uh whether consciously or unconsciously, shapes your life. You may not know. It's the same way you don't pick your nails and then you are observing and seeing that, okay, my nail has grown by a millimeter, or my hair has grown by an inch. No, you don't see that happening visibly. However, because of the repeated exposure to those people, repeated exposure to their materials, repeated exposure to their sayings, their books, the repeated exposure to the environments that they are shaping your life, and we cannot just throw that out, or out of the bag and just assume that, okay, that's not a form of mentorship. I think that one is there. However, one of the most effective ones are the ones that you mentioned. You are privileged if you can have that one hack that I can call you. I remember that Dr. Sam speaking about that particular incident when he said that he went to um when he was moving venues. He went to meet Bishop Oyedepo, and then he was telling him all the things I wanted to do, the prayer stretch and all these things. And when Bishop was telling him no, they followed you because of teaching. I heard that and it was powerful. There's an instance I heard. I was listening to. I don't know if it's Apostle Tolu now, but I think his name is Tolu. I think I don't think he's in Lagos. Apostle Tolu was saying something about him and um, Apostle Arome. So he said there was a time that he was somewhere, he was not in Lagos, or so he was not in that particular location where Apostle Arome was. So, but what he did was he Apostle Arome called his brother and told him that if 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 your brother doesn't want to die, he should leave where he is right now. So he said what he did was he left where he was. He left where he was and then went straight to go and meet Apostle Arome. So Apostle Arome told him that this is what was going on. And then they said we were going to pray every night for so time. We're going to pray for a certain number of hours. He said the first night they did it, the second night as they were doing it, he was already tired. He said, I think it was either the second night or the third night. He said while they were still praying, he fell asleep. Him that had the problem, him that needed a breaking, fell asleep, but Apostle Arome was still praying for him to have that. He said while he fell asleep, he had a dream and he saw the battle that Apostle Arome was doing. That this is somebody that held his hand and told him, okay, you need to leave this location now. It's time to go to this. So it is not always, you don't always have that. But just a quick one on your own end. Let's assume you look at somebody that you have not yet entered into a space. The person is around. You can see the person. How do you build a relationship with someone that you want to be your mentor? Do you just meet the person, walk up to him, and then tell him that the Lord said that you shall be my mentor? You are the pastor after God's heart that He has sent me to. How do you do that? Like for instance, your own mentor or the people you mentor. I just want I want maybe in form of a story. Tell me how you, the, tell me the story of how you picked a mentor and he became your mentor, and tell me just one or two stories of people that have come to you for mentorship and how did they come, those ones that stand out for you, either the ones that stood out in a good way or the ones that stood out in a not so good way.
Um, okay, started my work with God. There was an instance, and like, if you can hear me, I don't know if
I
you
can
can
hear
hear me.
you.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, so for me, there was a stage in my life and a season in my life where God emphasized growing. This was where I was seeking out for men. Don't mind me. I got carried away with the caprison. Uh, okay, so let's get back. Forgive me for that. So for me, there was a season in my life where God was emphasizing knowledge because a point would come where He would send people to me for mentorship. So I run a mentorship platform. Uh, most of the people who came there, speaking engagement, most times from preaching, most times people just randomly message me, this is what God is like. I feel led to listen to you. One of the things I've observed is that when it comes to being mentored, of you mentoring people, You do not have, you will look desperate, not just desperate. It's not right to go out and assault the people yourself. Because, like I said, it should speak out. The depth of sin in the works you do. So, this is where the Bible says, let your light so shine that men will see it and give God glory. So, the more I live a good life, the more I begin to fulfill what God has told me. There are people who are obviously seeing stories of themselves in my story and growing processes. So they by default begin to say, okay, they want to follow. So how do I meet people I feel should mentor me personally on the level of which the person has grown? Yes, this is one thing we will say, because we live in a very arrogant generation who feels maybe some guy is younger than you are, you need his knowledge, so you just bump into his life and say,
Entitlement,
um,
entitlement.
so I've been privileged to be around people who are literally intimidated by maybe might and knowledge, and you can see that in the way they speak to you, downplaying the years of investment in growing in God. They just make it so cheap, and at the end, they expect you to carry your knowledge and bow to give them. It doesn't. So the first principle to receiving from people is the principle of honor. Is the principle of honor. Now, honor is so palpable. You know, as I meet a lot of people, and people by default, I know those who are users. You can literally know. It's an energy that is palpable. They feel you're doing well. They just need that mentorship as a disguise so that this asks for some funds. You take care of person is going on the mentorship space. And so, so there are people who are literally they are not out there for your knowledge. Some want to leverage that relationship as influence for greater doors. And so someone knowledge results and all this stage is more protective of his reputation, of his name as a brand. And so I'll not just casually give everybody to enter into my life. So honor number one, learn the law of honor, how you meet people and regard them at the level at which they are. Secondly, your personal track record. Yes. At this stage, I accept people as they are, but it will get to a point where private mentorship will not just be as you are. We need to see the levels of work you put in mental development, track record of, decent lifestyle you've lived. I don't want to someone that say, oh, we take pictures together. The next thing they say is a criminal all over social media and let us image. So most times people get rejected for private mentorship because their lifestyle doesn't sell a message. And like I teach my mentees and people who listen, there is a stage where you are in visions. There is another stage where your life becomes a vision. Men can look at you and see something. As the moment you begin to live a life where people can see a track record, you are ready for opportunities and greater mentorship opportunities. And so, for example, if I stand before someone like Dr. Samademi today, and they say this young man wants to meet you, you will not expect something like, you want to know who is he. And when most people hear who is he, they feel intimidated and feel bad. No, are you? What do you do? What background do you have? So most people just want some form of mentorship to use them as ladders for influence and whatsoever sort as they wish. But it should not be so in our case. So uh, mentorship is beautiful. If you want to meet people, have honor, respect them. To learn from will be way younger than you are. Honestly speaking, I feel there are people I listen to in certain areas. They know it's because of knowledge. Now, sometimes you follow people because of specific knowledge. Don't make it too obvious. Because some of you now, after you receive the knowledge, the person that taught you now has turned to a fool already. And this happens, especially in the Christian circle where you grow under a pastor in your local church who fits you with knowledge, who did the foundation of the Christian faith and everything. And then you come to us charismatic pastors out here and like, my pastor at home knows nothing. He just hear the jargons that comes out of people's mouth. Yes, there are stages of mentorship where you outgrow, honestly speaking. There are people right now, in all form of sincerity, when I sit under and board, it has nothing to do with pride. It has nothing to do with disrespect. It is just that the level of understanding is superior than what is being offered. And that is why I say mentor, so that I don't leave that stage of impact to folly or being seen in a stead. You need to understand that your growth is something you should prioritize as number one. There are people who get annoyed that I sent you a message since yesterday. I said, if I don't read this knowledge you're coming to look for, it will not be there. Replacement everywhere. So learn growth as a person, yeah. So learn growth, follow people for specific reasons. Now, like I said, so you don't sound selfish or so, there are people who you will need for just 2 months. Give them the level of respect needed in that 2 months, and forever when you meet them, be grateful that they did something in your life that happened for 2 months. Because a mistake that 2 months can affect the next course of your life and over the years. And that period of time where they were the ones who helped you, they shaped your mind. Let it be a truly something you honor them for a lifetime. That's to me because I encountered somebody, and even though they played an important role in that aspect of my life. And this is why a lot of people are making mentors jealous, making people jealous, having hatred for one another, because we are naturally users. We use them, take their knowledge, their resources, the help they give, and then when we find the next happening guy, we say this one is wiser, the other person has turned a fool. No, practice honor, learn honor, and as you grow, if I meet people who shaping my life in the time past, even if I may be knowledgeable now than what they can give, I forever maintain a mentality of honor. That if that person did not lay that foundation at that stage of my life, I'm not sure I'll have the knowledge I have today. And so practice honor, learn how to meet people, and live a good life so that the day you stand before somebody, we can go to your YouTube. You know, there are people that send me friend requests, and the first thing I do is that I go to look at the mutual friends. I don't even know who you are. There are sometimes I look at your bio. If I don't see anything good in the first 3 lines, I'm not accepting. Sometimes I look at the mutual friend. Let me know the kind of people you have. If they are really close to you, I accept you because I believe you are within that radar. So you must press to have a track record that is good. And number three, be gifted and refine your gift. In other words, be valuable.
Be valuable.
Nobody wants to connect failure. Honestly speaking, nobody wants to connect a failure. So you just come. I mean, at advanced stage, if you are starting, I mean, everybody mentors you. But there are stages where people will not draw you inside if you don't have results. So
Yes.
work on all this, and it will profit you.
Thank you, sir. You know, there are so many things you said. I thought I was the only one. I have friend requests for long, some friend requests there until the day you change your name on that Facebook. I will not accept it. In fact, day before yesterday or so, I don't know, maybe the person is going to see this. I don't know. I just saw a Facebook request, and then the person that sent me a request, his profile picture is C Ronaldo. We're not, I don't know you. Your picture there is C Ronaldo. Just be wait first when you are ready. Or your name is bad boy gang dope guy. No, no, when see, to come as you are, we accept. However, nobody wants stress also. At least let me check your profile. Let me look. Let me type your name on Google and let me see something good coming up. As you said, there are people that we have gone to meet. Somebody has carried me to go and see somebody, and then the moment I entered is somebody that in my state, in my state, every serious minded people look up to him. Millionaires in hundreds are looking up to the person. So when I went, somebody took me to his office. So we just the moment we entered the office, and he stood up. Well, he as usual courtesy. So he stood up to welcome us. He stood up and he told the guy. He said, "Ah, you brought Jim Rona Leonard to my office. I never knew he knew me. I never knew." So he just said, he said, "I've been seeing your work. I've been seeing what you do. I know," he said, "one thing I know, I am sure of, is that you are passionate about what you do." That's all he said. And it was, for me, it was okay. It was very good. And that was what set the precedence. You'll be like, "Okay, yeah, give my number. When I come to Abuja, come and see me." That was all. So people are going to look you up. You know, this whole thing about, I don't want to even enter that talk of internet, and it's fine, but people are going to look you up. No, have it. have a gift, refine your gift, refine it. It's going to open a lot of doors for you. Something you said about, there's something I believe. You need knowledge to understand knowledge. There is a requisite knowledge that you need to have to be able to absorb the one that is coming after it. That is why a 5-year-old child or a 6-year-old child is not writing WAEC. You have to have some basic form of knowledge. So this thing has happened to me personally. I was born in an Orthodox church. I grew up in an Orthodox church, and you now grow, you now go out, you meet some charismatic, you hear, you listen. I started listening to Apostle Sermon way back, 2012. Yes, something like that. 2011, no, I first met him 2010, right? When I went to Zaria. So, but then I was listening, and then you now start realizing that you are growing. A lot of things are happening. What we realized, we were younger then, we started looking down on our own Orthodox teaching and Orthodox pastors that invested a lot in us, that gave us the basic understanding. In fact, I was telling somebody that today, if you go out to places, we are easy to spot, because there are some excesses you will never find. Some of those doctrine help in building you morally. Even if you may not sit down and say you understand the doctrine of righteousness, or you fully understand redemption, or all those things. However, they give you the basic knowledge to understand. So you never look down on somebody if the person's role in your life, if you learn from the person in just 3 months, or 2 months, you learned from the person. Accord the person the same respects, because he helped put a brick that the bricks on top rest upon, right? So it's profound. The things, I don't want us to end this conversation, but we have to stop, honestly. And it is good. One thing, if you forget everything, Edet Jeremiah sounds like a pastor sometimes when he's speaking. A lot of people will refuse to mentor you. Straight to the point. A lot of people may not they said God, man looks at the outward appearance, God looks at the heart. We are not the man does not look at the heart. Help assist the man to look at your outward appearance and look at some little track record, and person picks, okay, this person is a serious person, right? We know that people were we have the spirit of God, and then we have the discerning spirit. However, you need to help. You need to be presentable. You need to refine your gifts. You need to see you, especially those that you see you come. I have had that instance. People come, and then after a speaking engagements, they rush to you and they'll be like, I want to follow you. I want to. I mean, you are just seeing them, and then you just know that they are attracted to the glamour, or they're attracted to what they're seeing now. They don't know the work that has gone down, gone the amount of investment, the time, resources that has gone into research and learning to become the person that you have become right now. And you cannot be more spot on. One of the things that I've not said it in this live series since I started, right? There is we have gone very far. There is a book, the art of being a great mentee. That's not the title of the book, but the book is about the art of being a great mentee. We're almost done. I can say it's 70% done. So hopefully after this series, the book will be out. But then there's something you mentioned as if you knew it was inside. This about open mentorship, institutional mentorship, and then the personal one-on-one mentorship. We need to, because I've seen clashes. People are having conversations, they're arguing, and then they're saying, no, that one is mentorship, that one is not mentorship, you have never seen him. Yeah, they all have a role to play in your life. So hopefully we will help. The book will be out, and then whenever they come to you for mentorship, you give them the book, send them to buy the book, finish reading the book, then you come, we enroll you in the mentorship class, because a lot is happening. Thank you very much, Mr. Jeremiah. So one last thing, one of my last question to you now is, usually when there is a session, you're coming on live, and then there could be something that the Holy Spirit will drop in your heart, or there will be something that you wish you would say, or you prepared, you said you were going to say. Sometimes in the course of the conversation, it may come out, but sometimes in the course of the conversation, it doesn't come out. And we somehow find a way, and we go around, but we don't hit it, right? If there is anything like that, or if there's a question you wish I asked you that I didn't, can you please ask the question and then answer it? It could be in form of your last words. What do you wish you have said in this session that you didn't say? Or what are your last words? Or final words, not last words, forgive me. Final words for this session.
I'll go with the final words for the session. So, in summary of everything we've discussed, simply telling you and I that at every point there'll be people who are ahead of you, knowledge wise and grace wise. If you want a life that is easy, you know, growing up, I had a lot of curious questions I would ask. Why are some rich? Why are some poor? Why are some like this? Why are some like that? There were like a lot of questions clogging my mind. So if you want to go far, look for people who are more knowledgeable, who are older with results, and who are more grace than you are in any area you lack. When you meet these sets of people, carry a mentality and as a virtue as you meet them. Some of them may be way older than you are. Some of them may be contemporaries about this one. Because the highest level you finish comes from those with people who disrespect me. And I didn't know the funny thing. I allow you disrespect me, but and no advice that will profit out. It's not like it's censored, it's automatic. So if you feel we can play a level field game and you may be struggling with something that's not really occurred to me. I don't know. Am I breaking?
I can hear you. Just, yeah,
Please leave a
you're
message
good.
if you can hear me. I don't know. Well, I'm okay, right?
Yes, I can hear
Okay,
you.
okay.
Yes.
So there are people who are, most of them will come as, okay, most will come as your contemporaries. The people you eat together with, the people I look forward to having great content this year, teaching people, because I want to do a broader means of open mentorship for people. When you meet people in areas and places where they, no matter how familiar with, don't dishonor them. So we may be playing game together. You win me, I win you. We shout around. We are humans. We have that part. But meeting me in an area where everybody's like, "Oh, I love what you said. I know what you do is good. You are growing. You're going places," and bring that play from where you left it inside that place to say, "Ah, this is my guy." Play, rub people on their head. Because I hear everybody say there are people who know I respect them, who know they are president. This is why most people know presidents that never have access from them, because you don't know how to appropriate honor when it's needed. So go with it and a virtue of honor, irrespective of age, whether they are older, whether they are contempt, even that come more, because when I'm trying to go higher, the people who are higher, you and I are dragging me down so that you tell where we are at the same level. At least in that honor them. And then thirdly, there are people who would more than you are, who are obviously older than. Maintain humility enough and the security to allow them show honor. And so for me, I found out in time that life broad. I began to distinctively arrange the areas of life I needed growth. I knew there was a possibility to be young and independent, to be financially stable, to have what to do, to be skillful, human capital development. I began to look for the people. Some people who mentored me were older, were younger, some are younger, and some are older. So sustain this heart conscious open. You're not a boss, because number there's a generational gap. Older people said, and thirdly, there is grace. Acts were designed to follow. So don't spoil that chain, because as you are now growing, the more you grow, you now see someone else is looking up to you. That's how life is. We are not given the same level of knowledge, and we cannot have the same level of knowledge no more. So press for mentorship, and as you go, I pray the Lord will grant and you'll know what to do. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Edet Jeremiah. Thank you so much. I will tell you something. My pastor. Okay, yes. My pastor said. He said there is without a gradient, the oil will not flow. Without a gradient, that's why usually you will see people bow. If you don't go lower, you don't bow, the oil will not flow. How will the anointing come on you if you are at the same level or the same or higher than the person? This thing is the same thing you're talking about your contemporaries or somebody that say feels is age mate with you. It's not like the person will shut you out deliberately because uh he doesn't have what it takes to solve the problem what you're going through. However, because there is no in that regard, it becomes difficult or the thing doesn't flow. I will always give this instance. I say um, Esau and Jacob's father Isaac told them, go and get me this that I may eat and bless you. It's not like he cannot just open his mouth, but sometimes some level of grace or some, are we sounding like pastors? It needs to be unlocked, right? Let's stop here. All right. Okay. Wait, sorry. No, you are a pastor. I know. I'm not this thing now. Yeah.
I get your point though.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so
So
much,
honor
Mr.
people,
Edet.
that's all.
God bless you. 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 Thank you very much, guys. Thank you everybody that has followed us. Uh sorry today. I'm live on TikTok on another device. Sorry, the our platform didn't allow us stream directly like this from TikTok, so you were not able to see Mr. Jerry's face. Mr. Jerry, please, you have your book, and what we'll do is probably just we'll drop, I would say, how do we find you on social media so that they can order your book or join your mentorship classes. Just help us. Let me say one or two things so that where can they find you on.
Instagram, you can on Instagram you can see me at Edet Jeremiah underscore Edet Jeremiah underscore global. On Facebook, just search Edet Jeremiah or you Edet Jeremiah. I think there are a list of ways you can. So Edet Jeremiah.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Edet Jeremiah. Edet Jeremiah. Edet. If you don't know how to spell Jeremiah, we'll pray for you. Okay, so Edet Jeremiah. Thank you very much. And see you guys in our next session. Our next episode is on Friday. And this promises to be an exciting session. God bless you. See you soon. Thank you.